You've probably heard of this slogan, very popular. You are your own worst enemy. And in my opinion, this saying can cause more inner disharmony at times than it actually empowers us. If you're new here, my name is Xavier Dagba, and I'm your host. And I hope this conversation sparks more self liberation. So let's go back to this slogan. You are your own worst enemy. Let's dive in there. I would love to acknowledge first that the intent here is to really realize that your power has always been in your hands, that no one else out there truly has the capacity to block you the way you can, to hinder you the way you can. And that is really invaluable to keep in mind, realize, to acknowledge, to internalize. I think it's really important to embrace that, to hold on to that. But there's another part here that is really critical to remember. In the saying, you are your own worst enemy, very often we step into this perspective where we want to wage a war to the parts of us that seem to be standing in our way, that seem not to support our power or our empowerment. A few examples: the people pleaser inside of you, the saboteur inside of you, the imposter inside of you. You may even have an addict inside of you, or any other aspect that you see as dysfunctional, that you think is not really supportive of your empowerment. So we have a tendency of wanting to wage war towards this part. We have a war against the critic, a war against the saboteur, a war against the procrastinator. And in my opinion, when we do that, what often happens is there is so much energy invested in fighting the patterns that we see as dysfunctional that we have very little energy available to create something magnificent, something beautiful. Now, the natural question that may come up is, should just let them have their way? Should I just let all these patterns run the show? Should I let my critic run the show? No, that's not what I'm inviting you to do here. What is really important is to actually realize that by fighting a pattern, we don't resolve the conflict. By fighting a pattern, we don't create more inner harmony. But there's something important about a shift in perspective where you actually bring compassionate curiosity towards these patterns, where you learn how to flirt with them in a way, to get to understand them more, to romanticize them to a certain degree, to understand where they come from, become aware of the hidden forces that are motivating them, because every single one of them is an adaptation. Every single one of them is pointing towards something that may need resolution. And when you are willing, just willing to bring your compassionate awareness there, what happens is you have a real chance at dissolving the hidden forces that are causing all these patterns or parts of you to stand in a way of your expression, of your power, if you wish. I am offering this perspective that there is no part of you that is truly against you, even when it seems like it. There is no part of you that is truly an enemy, even when it seems like it. And you can only try to repress these parts for so long. Have you realized that every single time you try to push down the part, you try to push down the critic, you try to silence all these, gremlins inside of your head? Have you realized that sometimes they just appear again and they keep appearing again? So we can live from this place where we're like, I can only be at peace within myself when they are all gone. Or we can live from this place where we have created resolution or reconciliation with these parts. And every single time we see them, it doesn't need to mean that we are not worthy of love, that we are not empowered. It doesn't need to mean any of that. The gift of bringing compassionate awareness towards these parts instead of seeing them as enemies is through that self compassion directed at these parts. There is a dissolving of the inner conflict that has a real chance to actually happen. And that is what is available here. There is true integration that is actually available. And if you're actually interested in integration, I'm inviting you to go get my free shadow integration mini course. It's free. I'm going to leave the link there, or you can go on my website, free shadow integration mini course. It is where you're going to learn how to reconcile with these aspects within you so that they lose the capacity to hijack you. And that's a really important thing, a really important skill to be able to cultivate within oneself. Because when you do that, there is actually no enemy within left. When the door is open for your empowerment, for your unhindered self expression, and that, in my opinion, is one of the highest invitations of these times. There's no enemy within. Absolutely not. I know it's a wild thought, but I'm inviting you to sit with that. Because through this framework, you have a real chance at creating inner peace, at meeting with compassion these parts, at dissolving the emotional conflicts that were stored in your body, and reparenting the aspects that seem to be standing in the way. I hope this is helping. And if it does, please share it with people who might need it. Go ahead and get the free Shadow Integration mini course. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you in the next conversation.